There we go. Okay. You're now officially doing your just your voices.
So Connor, now say things to you.
Square root.
Okay, so to solve this one, what do you do? Did you already say that when I wasn't paying attention? So you do the square root of each side. Square root and squared. We just took a whole test over that, and you obviously know how all that works, right? So x equals
9.
9. But I said there should be 2 answers. So what are my 2 answers?
X equals 9.
9 and negative 9, or just plus or minus 9. Okay? Pretty much anytime you introduce a square root into the problem, and by that I mean there wasn't a square root in the problem originally, but you had to use a square root to solve the problem, then there should be a plus or minus. Or a plus or minus similar to the problem. This works because 9 squared is 81. 9 times 9 is 81. And then negative 9 squared is 81. Negative 9 times negative 9 is 81. And we just sound very ill. Let's see this. Okay. Don't go in here. Wear a mask. I was like 3 people at one time.
I thought it was one.
Okay, number 2. X squared equals 17. It's extremely similar to this. So what do I do? Square root of both sides. So I get x equals, what's the square root of 17?
9 and 2. 3 in bracket.
Square root of 17. Square root of 17
Oh yeah,
is
I'll say
radical
18.
17. Is that it?
Yes.
No, plus
Nope.
or minus.
Plus or
Connor said 18, so I wrote down 8.
Listen to what Connor says. You should know that by now.
I did. He was talking.
Okay. Next problem. I probably want to start too hard yet. Why not? Because you did so well in the last problem. X squared minus 20 equals 0. Okay, yeah, so if it's not just x squared equals, then the first thing you'll do is try to get the x squared by itself. So we'll add 20 to each side. You get x squared equals 20. Now it looks just like the other 2 problems. So take the square root of each side. So x equals plus or minus. Just go ahead and put that down. And then the square root of 20. What is that?
2 radical 5.
2 radical 5. 20 is 4 times 5. And so that's 2 radical 5. So you can still use your root chart if you need to. They're just square roots though, no cube, no fourth. So if you just know the common square, perfect squares, you should be fine. Like 4, 9, 16, 25, not 8. Say 8.
1.
81. Okay, so first thing you do is get the n squared by itself. So you will move 72 to the other side. You get 3n squared equals 72. So what? 5 by 3. You get n squared equals 24. And you finally get down to just n squared. That's where you do the square root. So n equals plus or minus
24.
No.
4 radical 2, 3.
No. What did you say?
2 radical. Not 4
2
radical.
2 radical 6. 24 is 4 times 6.
What about 2 times 3?
That's great, but neither one's a perfect square.
You talked about cube, man. We talked about squares.
Good thing we're doing practice problems. Yeah. That's the part you sure know how to do. Two more.
I'm guessing
Six
foil.
problems. This is 5, so one more after that would be 6.
Don't worry, guys.
Two
Davis
more
having
problems.
I am actually. Thank you.
Hold on. Oh, actually, that's a good statement. She said we could write it twice and spoil it.
Yeah.
You can. That will make it very difficult. I could do that. When it's written like this, there's actually an easier way. So anytime you solve an equation, you're just working backwards. So what can I do to work backwards to get rid of the square root? Square root. Opposite of squaring something is square root. So we've already said the square root and squared cancel each other out. You just get t plus 5 equals radical 48. What's radical 48? That's 49.
I don't know. Radical 48.
4 and 2, 12. 4 and 12.
Eight.
Radical 4 and 12 is 2 and 2 radical 6.
Oh, 8.
2 and 24. 8 and 3.
How about is
That's
48
cute.
radical 3? 8.
That's cube. We're talking about squares here, not cubes.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
You're right. Now I can't even think straight.
I don't either.
It's 4 radical
Is it
12.
8 radical 3?
2 radical
2 radical 4.
Thank you. I was like, it's got to be a 16 and something. 16 and 3 are the two numbers you multiply. So it's not 6. It's not 16 radical 3. It's what?
4 radical
3. 4 radical 3. I'm so confused.
Alex, everyone.
I couldn't even divide.
Now you know how we feel all the time.
You have people yelling at you while you're doing a problem? You should have recorded this live. Oh well, it's real. It's fun.
Actually, yes, I have my day.
It's real. Okay, last
Show the
thing.
world.
Last thing you need to do is subtract 5. Okay? It's not as difficult as it looks. Put it in front of the plus or minus. And then you just write down what you have. So it's just negative 5 plus or minus 4 radical 3. Okay? So I had someone earlier say, now can I add that and get 9 radical 3 or negative 9 radical 3? No, do you know why? Because the 4 radical 3 is a combination. Right, 4 radical 3 is together. It doesn't have, we don't have radical 3 with the 5, so we can't like very makes sense. So that's it. That's the answer on it.
Yay, one more.
I'm a little worried.
You're worried. We should be worried. You already know the answer.
It's true. I'm worried for you. Concerned for you. Okay, t minus 3 squared equals negative 4. So start the same way. Sure you can. You know how to do this now. So squaring a square root cancel each other out. T minus 3 equals. And what is the square root of negative 4?
The solution. The solution.
Radical 4, right?
2i. Radical 4 is 2. Which is 2i. I know, I thought you were saying it. Am I forgetting anything? Yes, I'm not.
Yeah,
I haven't written it down. Okay, so if you have a negative and a radical, make sure you put an I on the answer. And then this one, I still would need to move the 3 over. It's written a lot like this, just doesn't have a radical. So I'll put the 3 in front of the plus or minus, which is 3 plus or minus 2i. Can I combine those?
No.
Not by terms, right? I know I. So these look like, do you remember the quadratic formula?
Yeah.
These are kind of like answers to the quadratic
I feel
formula.
like everyone who just said yeah.
Well, you said yeah, and you obviously are wrong.
Okay.
Fine, that's why I said that.
I know I said only 6, but I won't work out the whole problem. I'm going to show you something. Let's say. That would have been really easy. You can just watch. It's really it's just the answer I want to show you how to do. So if you had something like this, you'd start the same way. Here's the part I want you to see. When you get radical 25, this is what happens, or what you need to do if it actually simplifies. Radical 25 is 5. You still have to put the plus or minus in front of it. So if there's no radical and no I, okay, it's different than these two. This has a radical and the number 6 has an I. But if there's no radical and no I, when you move the number over, you can put it in front, but now you can work it out and get 2 answers. So you have -3 plus 5.
Oh my shit.
-3 plus 5 is 2. And then -3 minus 5 is -2. Okay, so if there's no radical, just go through and work it out.
Okay,
I got a question, hold on.
Connor wants to know.
What would be the answer
The
to that
answer's
one up
not
there? Would it be 0 and 10?
This?
Yeah,
Why would it be
It would
0?
definitely be.
I didn't even really finish the problem.
but the answer would be 0 and 10.
What is 0 and -10?
Is this still recording?
Yes. I'm quitting right now, don't worry.